My collar wasn't quite fixed.
I am fixed mine too. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we have a special guest with us today. Well, actually, three special guests with us. Below me is Dr. B, Dr. Lorin Berland, and you guys know him from, hold on, the Dr. B, all of his product line I have here. He is the inventor of all of this. And also things are falling. Yeah, also the smile guide, which we're going to get into the smile guide that he designed later, a little bit later on, because I really do want to talk about that because it can be very, very helpful to anybody wanting to pick out their shape of teeth. And then next to Dr. B, we have Jan from Simply Jan Homestead.
Hey guys.
She has implants with snap-in dentures. And above Jan, we have Ashmack Beard dentures and implants. That's a long one. And she has four implants on the top and then 4 on the bottom. Mm-hmm. And she's getting the all on 4 where her teeth are going to be screwed down in. So, hi, everybody, and welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everybody in the comments, too. I'm glad you're here. And if you have any questions about anything, we're going to talk a little bit implants in that line, but if you have any questions on anything else related to dentures, feel free to ask. We have
or anything else.
Or anything else. Dr. B, how much experience do you have? This is amazing to me.
Well, I actually started working in a denture lab when I was still 15, almost 16. And so I'm 67 now, so that means that I'm in my 52nd year in the world of dentures.
Wow.
That's a long time.
Well, we have somebody here thinking about giving an all on 4. All right. I get this question a lot. It's not a question I get, it's a comment I get that people are surprised when they go to get their implants. A lot of people think that if they're going to get like snap-in dentures, they're going to get their implants and their snap-in dentures in a week or 2, and they're going to be done. And that's not the case. Can you explain how long it takes to do implants and the healing, and how long it actually may take a person to get their dentures?
Generally speaking, it takes 3 to 6 months from the time the implants have been placed to the time you can engage them. Though, there are different dentists and different patients where they can do it sooner, and some it takes even longer. But that's a general rule. But generally, once you place the implant and you put the implants and you put a soft reline in the denture, and especially I always made a new denture while we were preparing the snap-ins, because usually the people I was seeing had old dentures and they had problems with them. The teeth were worn down. Maybe they didn't like the way they looked, whatever reasons. I would always try to make the best denture I could, or the best upper and lower denture, whatever dentures I could for them. And then we would see if they even wanted implants. It could be that if we made them a better denture, we didn't necessarily have to go to a snap-in and implants. And if we do go with implants, it's way better to plan the way the teeth should fit and feel and look before we engage the implants. It's much easier. So, I would like to go slow typically. Of course, there were people who came in and they knew they wanted implants and a snap-on, just like there's people who knew they wanted a fixed implant bridge like Ashley's doing. So, everybody is different. But going back, typically it's a 3 to 6 month process. What do you think, Jan?
Well, it took me 8. And,
okay. Well, I said it could take a year. It depends on everybody.
Yeah, it might have been 7, but my dog ate my dentures, so they surprised me and made a new set. And yeah,
I can imagine.
They just that day. So, it was quite a shock. So don't ever leave your dentures down, y'all, ever, if you have a dog, ever. And he was a
well, they
puppy, so
put them in your mouth, so they think it's food because they see you putting it all in your mouth and stuff. So the minute they can get their hands on it, they're going to.
he's like, "Ooh, a new toy."
Right. Jan, do you mind telling everybody how much you paid for your snap-in denture?
My set was $13,600.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, we got two of you now. Hold on, let me get rid of this
How
one.
did that happen?
Yeah, get rid of that other one. Thank you.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, I lost it and I reloaded it.
Well, I saw two of you down there. One of you is moving, and one of you isn't.
Two's better than one.
Jan, how much did you pay?
$13,600.
Okay, is that with your extractions included?
Yeah, that was everything.
It's a great price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley, do you mind? Go ahead, Jan.
I've told this story before, but I had looked in Texas when we lived there, and I got a quote there, and it was about 13. And so when I moved to Missouri and I found the DDS here, they said, well, it's going to be, it was like 14. I go, no, I've got a quote from Texas. It was 2 years old though, and I said, can't you come close to that? And he goes, well, how about 13,600? I said, okay, deal. Because that quote was 2 years old. So.
That's good. Yeah,
but they were awesome.
That's the important thing.
Yeah. Ashley, do you mind telling what yours is costing?
Sure, but let me say a little disclaimer here. My grandfather passed away, and he left me a small inheritance, and that's what I used for my teeth. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to afford it either.
Yeah.
So the implants and the E-Day and all of that, not the teeth, just E-Day and the implants was $18,000. And that's for 8 implants. And then for the teeth, I did pay like $1,200 or so for my immediate dentures that I'm still wearing now. And then I paid another $18,000 for the zirconias that I haven't got yet. So in all, it was like probably around $38,000.
Yeah,
so it was a lot. So that's why I want to get them right. I need them to be right.
Yeah, they will be. They will
be. Settle. Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, Mark. Live feed. Kind of like. Okay. Well, there's not much I can. I'm surprised I even have live feed.
Jan has trouble with her internet once in a while, and today's the once in a while.
It happens. I'm glad it's not me for once.
Dr.
I mean, I look good over here, but sorry,
you're really good. Can you explain what a bone graft is to everybody?
Sure. There's all different kinds of bone grafts. There's the autogenous bone graft where they take your own bone. There's synthetic bone, and there is bovine bone. Generally, your own bone is the best, but the synthetic bone or reprocessed bone is probably the most popular.
Is that like powder that you mix with? How do you?
It's a powder, and a lot of it now is being done with platelet surgery to increase the healing. Let me tell you, implants and bone grafting is really when implants became successful, because I remember back in the late 70s and 80s, and implants were not so successful. In fact, there were dentists, leading authorities who said implants may never be successful because of the contact that they have with the oral cavity and the microbes and the possibility of infection. And then when they started doing bone grafting in the 90s, the success rate of implants just shot up. I mean, in the 80s, people would ask almost as often, why did this implant fail? They were also asking, how did this implant succeed? But now implants, thanks to bone grafting, is probably, it's one of the most successful and predictable procedures. Yes, Ashley.
I got the socket preservation grafting, where when they take your teeth out and they have this like composite in a squirt thing, and they squirt it in the sockets while
That's
during
good too.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I had.
They even have methods for bone grafting where they grind up the teeth, but it's hard to find a good healthy tooth in somebody that was removed for that. But in that case, that's very successful too. There's all kinds of methods and materials for bone grafting now. It's just a matter of choosing the right one for the right situation.
Now, how fast do you lose bone?
Oh my gosh, that is pretty hard to predict. There's so many variables. The person's general health, the person's diet, the person's medications, habits. Certain habits are deleterious to bone. And genetics. Genetics are really important. And I hate to say it, but previous dentistry.
Okay.
I mean, if people had their teeth removed and it was not done, maybe in a more conservative, careful manner, if they weren't doing socket preservation like Ashley was talking about, because that's been around a long time. That's very predictable. And in the right situations, ideal. But, if the teeth were removed in a not so predictable and conservative manner, I mean, a lot of bone can be lost during the extractions. And then, of course, there's trauma. And there's periodontal disease before the extractions. There's so many variables. I mean, somebody who had all their teeth but had severe periodontal disease, a lot of bone loss, and then they had to have the tooth removed because they were all loose, they're going to, have a lot more bone loss right away.
Okay, Christina said, can someone talk about oral health? Can someone talk about oral health and problems possible with either reclassed or Zometa infusions? I don't know what that is.
I've never heard of that one.
Me neither. I'm a little confused.
Yeah, I don't know what that infusions. I don't know what that means.
Is she talking about maybe like a treatment for osteoporosis?
I don't know. Christina, what exactly are you talking about? Well, I'll wait for her to answer there, but I'm going to go ahead with another question. Osteoporosis, she said.
Yes, there is a problem with osteoporosis, and she would have to talk to her dentist about it. Osteoporosis is one of those, the medications for it, the Boniva, the Fosamax, while they're supposed to strengthen and solidify bone, they've also found that it can weaken the bone in the lower jaw particularly, and weaken teeth. I remember when Fosamax started coming out in the mid 2000s, and we started seeing problems with people who never had problems before. And then the warnings came out that these osteoporosis medications could cause jaw problems. I hate to say it, but I've seen it over and over again in my career in dentistry and in medicine. When it comes to healthcare, we're all just guinea pigs. And I'm not saying that if you're taking these medications, it precludes getting dental implants. but you'll have to discuss this in great detail with your dentist.
Yeah. Okay, we have a question for Michael.
Well, you got tons of them.
I know. After you get your extractions done, you have immediate dentures and or your permanent dentures. How long do you have until you are no longer able to get the implants if you choose that route afterwards? That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this for me?
Yeah.
Well, it could be, because you know what? I've decided that I'm going to go the implant route. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it, but I'm going to start on the bottom. When should I start that? That's kind of what he wants to know.
Well, generally speaking, the sooner the better. Because as time goes on, as I said, bone loss is inevitable, though you can't predict at which rate, or, I mean, you could kind of predict, but the one thing you can predict is there'll be a loss of bone. So the sooner you do it, the better off you are.
Okay.
That said, I've seen, my career, I saw lots of people who had dentures for 20 years, and we were able to do implant-supported dentures without any bone grafting, and then others we had to do bone grafting. It all depended on the person's condition.
Well, I know that since starting my channel, a lot of people do not have a good bottom ridge.
Right. And the standard of care, according to the American Dental Association and the American Academy of Prosthodontists, is no longer a plain lower denture, though millions of people survive and thrive with a lower denture. I mean, I know lots of people very happy with a full lower denture, but the standard of care now is 2 implants and a snap-in denture for the lower. That is what is generally accepted, the minimum treatment for a lower ridge.
Well, that's what, the next time I go into my dentist, I know I'm going to talk to him about that and how good my ridge looks. And if I can wait another year, if it's okay, I'm going to have that conversation, because I know for sure I'm going to do implants on the bottom.
And, when I say this is the standard of care, they're not covered by insurance. It's not covered by Medicare. And I really think a lot of things have to change about dental care and Medicare in this country, and insurance. I mean, in Europe and Germany, implants are part of medical treatment because it affects people's quality of life. I mean, there's no doubt, done correctly, just 2 implants and a snap-in on the bottom will improve somebody's life immensely. And probably not just improve their life, but probably lengthen their life. So there's a lot of reasons for it. I mean, it's not, it's really not elective. It's part of medical care.
I believe that, because before I had all my teeth removed, I had chronic bronchitis. I was sick more than I wasn't sick, like 3 weeks out of the month. And now I don't get sick anymore.
Oh, I saw this all the time in my practice. In fact, we saw the dean, probably one of the most celebrated deans of medical schools in the entire world. And he came in with severe periodontal disease. And I mean, he came in, he was an old man. He was still the dean. He was in his late 70s, and he hobbled in. And quite frankly, I was afraid the guy was going to die on me.
Oh, gosh.
And we removed the infection and the infected teeth, and we made him bridges. And after that, he took incredible care of his life, of his teeth. He sprang back to health. 2 years later, he comes in, and I mean, the guy's driving and he's jumping around. He's 80 years old. He's got more energy than a 20-year-old. And he told me that I saved his life. He said before I, removed the bad teeth, he was constantly hospitalized at the medical school with pneumonia, He was always having gram-negative bacteria infections. They kept recurring. Nobody told him it was his teeth. And, we fixed him. He says, I haven't been sick since. And since then, I knew a lot of medical students who went to them. They said, oh, yeah, Dr. Selden made us check everybody's mouth and teeth after that. He became obsessed with oral health at the medical school. And I mean, I saw one, I could go on and on with anecdotes. One guy that really, he came in, he had one infected, he had bad teeth. He was missing both of his teeth. He had a denture that was resting on one really bad tooth. And he hobbles in, he's got terrible back. And, I don't know how he was going to sit through the procedure. And then he comes back for the post-op a few days later and he's walking straight. He says, Jesus Christ, I haven't walked straight in 20 years. The day after you pulled my tooth, my back was all better. And, that's a little dramatic, but I could go on and on. I don't know where and how the mouth became separated from medicine, because when you look at it, every dental school, or at least originally every dental school, now they're popping up, these for-profit dental schools, but don't get me started on that. But every dental school was originally associated with a medical school, and most of them still are. And that tells you that dentistry was really the first medical specialty. So yeah, the hip bone's connected to the thigh bone, and the mouth is connected to everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I went on and on.
And it's connected to your mental health more than anything. Having new teeth and a smile. You can walk into a room and you don't want to hide yourself. You're going to be happier. You're going to be more confident. All of that.
And it's becoming more and more important, especially with social media, Instagram, Zoom calls. People are much more aware of it. So yes, it's really, it's so debilitating.
It
Have a
is.
jacked up smile. I mean, that's probably the biggest issue, is psychological.
It is.
And then crossing that border to walk into a dentist when you're so self-conscious. And then so many dentists are judgmental when they should be so helpful. And then finding a dentist, it's very challenging.
I wish I knew now.
Sorry, I missed.
So hopefully can help somebody else.
I think you froze.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. What'd you say?
Where did everybody go?
I'm here.
That must be my internet.
Oh, okay.
Please. I pay for the fast speed. I do. Can you tell?
Somebody said they could barely hear me. Let me fix my volume. No, that's my highest volume. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't turn it up anymore here on this side.
Ashley, what were you
saying?
I don't even know. Somebody was texting my phone, so it messed up my sound.
If you knew now, then what you knew now, something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just that if I knew then that I know now, like just things to look for when picking out a dentist, and their experience and that kind of stuff. Just I mean, I did my research a little bit, but I really got into all of this after it was already said and done. So I just wish that I knew this info before.
Well, Michelle is trying to fix that, and so are you for everybody else, and Jan for everybody else coming along. I marvel about these Facebook groups and YouTube. You cannot imagine, because you've I hate to say you've come of age, you entered this denture world in the internet world, but as a dentist, and seeing what's going on, and so much support and so much advice you give each other, and useful advice, first-hand advice, better advice than you'll get from most dentists.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody survived, how my patients survived without this.
I don't either. I
really
did do a lot of YouTube binging before my E-Day. I had about a month because it was the holidays and I didn't want to do the E-Day right before Christmas. So I waited, and I had, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks just to binge everything I could find. And I can't imagine having gone into that not being prepared and not knowing what was coming. I don't think I would have made it. I don't know that I would
There's
have.
nothing standard out there. You really, you know, every dental office is different. You don't know what to ask for. You don't know what to look for. And you're scared. And as you said, psychologically, you're handicapped. You're frightened. It's expensive. It's scary. It hurts.
It's embarrassing too.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And here you have a place where you can everybody can talk and share. This is really a wonderful thing. If I was still practicing, I would direct all of my patients to these Facebook groups and YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have a comment to 2 of them. We're going to do this one first. Someone said, so can one skip directly from immediates to implants, skipping the so-called real or permanent denture? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you don't. That's what Jan did. Jan, and then they want you guys to tell your story. Jan, can you tell your story, how you ended up getting yours?
Yeah, sure. I had probably in my 20s, all my back teeth rotted because I got real sick and I didn't have a lot of money and I wasn't eating right and my teeth rotted and I got all my back teeth pulled out on my bottom and a lot on top as well, but I had more on top. And so as life went on, you're eating in the front of your mouth. And all my teeth started to deteriorate and crack and chip and rot some more. And there was an opportunity where we had moved from Texas to Missouri, and there's an opportunity to revisit it. And there was a lot of tears and crying and going back and forth, and I'm going to have the ugly old lady face when I don't have my dentures in. And that was the hardest thing for me to get past, just how your mouth changes. And so that was, I didn't know how my husband would react. And he's like, you're more important than what your mouth looks like to me. And I was like, okay. And, so I cried some more and I went back and forth and I finally bit the bullet and went into the dentist. And they were so incredible. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm blessed beyond measure because I went in there and everything was like clockwork. And I never got infections. I never needed bone grafts. I had plenty bone, which that was my biggest concern because, I'm 65 right now. And I was 63 when I had it done. So I was really concerned about that because my mom, she did not have healthy bone in her mouth. And I thought, I'm going to get that. And, but I did. And so, I decided on 2 on the bottom and 4 on top. And I haven't, you have your adjustments and you go through the changes and your mouth heals and then you get your post in. And that was probably the hardest thing for me is getting my post in because they give you a million shots. When I had my teeth pulled, I had them knock me out because I'm a snowflake. So, yeah. But then when I had the posts put in, and I know there's a word for it, but don't make me go there. I don't. I just there was shots involved, but my dentist was again incredible and so patient and gentle with me, and then the journey began to get my permanents in, and it was. I can't complain. I mean, I had, to me, the perfect situation. I just didn't have. I had to get new bands put in, you know, in my dentures to hold them a little better. But other than that, and my bite had to get adjusted. There was a little stuff, you know. So I'm just incredibly happy with the snap-ins and everything everything I went through. So yeah, so that's my story.
I was able to.
Good
Jan
story.
helped me through mine. Jan and Justin. I called Jan all the time. What is happening to me?
Yeah, a lot
Okay,
of
Michael asks, he said, it's been 21 days. The area where I got the shot of Novocaine in the roof of my mouth is still numb. Is that normal?
It's still what? I didn't hear
Numb.
that. No, that's not normal. You should tell his dentist.
Yeah, you might wanna-
21 days for the palate to still be normal. Is it swollen?
Michael asked, is it swollen, Michael? Okay, then we'll wait for his answer.
Okay.
And Sue asks, she said, I have a full denture on top. Can I get all on 4 on top with the snap on denture? With the snap on dentures? Yeah, I have a full denture on top. Can I get all on 4 on top with the snap on denture on bottom? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah, you can change it up.
Yeah.
Do it however you want to do it.
What?
Hey, Michael,
So here.
let me see your implants. How well? I bite down very well. I eat steak. The only thing I can't really like certain nuts. I have to break pieces off with my teeth and chew. You know, I can't eat like a pig anymore. You know, everything's small bites, and then an apple I have to cut. You know, I can't chew into an apple. I can, but my dentures will pop. So
can I add something to that?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off,
Yeah.
but honestly, you know, I've been like studying teeth my whole life and going way, way back. And I have a theory that silverware and chopsticks and knives were invented not just to keep our hands clean while we're eating, but I really think they were invented originally to save our teeth.
I think so.
I don't think you should be biting into things all the time. I mean, we all do, but here, I can't tell you every summer, every spring, I started seeing every spring, it never happens, I would see at least 2 people who bit into a peach and broke their front tooth on the seed.
Yeah.
Never would have happened if they would have sliced it, you know,
Yeah.
and then knifed and forked it. And, you know, in Europe and a lot of places, they knife and fork everything. In Asia, they cut it up and they chop it and they eat it with chopsticks. I wouldn't feel bad if you can't eat everything the way you want to, because generally, if you know, slice it, cut it, dice it, you can eat everything you want.
Yeah,
So,
everything.
So Mike, don't be discouraged.
No.
And
Right.
you might, and you know, maybe that's how some of you broke your teeth, by trying to eat everything you want. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hey, I lost my first tooth as a child eating an apple.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
First, you know, the ones that come out when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, you know, the
people
other
used
thing
to
about
do that.
eating
Eat an apple, bite in, and it'll take that tooth out.
and you know, the other thing about eating an apple, it's much better to slice it, because then you could add peanut butter.
Exactly.
Caramel dip, you know, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, this is just your new normal now with your teeth. It's your new
Yeah.
normal. You know,
Right.
Yeah. And it's healthier to eat smaller bites because you tend to chew it more. And the thing, with dentures is you have to get used to is you have that piece up here on your mouth, and you're sometimes until you get used to it, your taste changes. And you have to, so I'm always sucking all the juices out, and I want to get every bit of flavor I can get. And now I'm 2 years into it, so I don't really experience that, but I do cut my food up way better than I mean, instead of eating a bite that big, I have a little bite,
And you probably digest better too.
Exactly. And it improved my health exponentially. I can't even tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
Now somebody wants to know the pros and the cons between a snap-in denture and the all-on-4. What about cleaning? You want to talk about the pros and cons of cleaning that?
Me?
Anybody?
Well, we wish Ashley could talk about it, but she can't.
Ashley
can talk about it.
Well, I haven't quite got them yet, but I've done enough research to know what's coming, I guess. But usually if you have like an all-on-4, you can either floss or use a water pick. And, with the floss, with the all-on-4s, they're supposed to leave a small gap there. You want to be able to get something through there to floss or water pick, which I've already bought a water pick. It's in my bathroom, ready to go. And then snap-ins, of course, you can take them out yourself and put them in the ultrasonic cleaner or clean them with your paste or whatever. And so they're easier to clean. The snap-ins are easier to clean. It just depends on preference. I mean, which one you would rather have, I guess.
I would agree. They both take a lot of maintenance. The maintenance for an all-on-4, though it doesn't have to be on 4, it could be on 6, minimum of 4. It's a little more difficult getting the floss up there. Ashley, you will find that because you really got to, it's difficult. You got to use tools to get the floss through. You got to work it through. Water picks are very messy. And then you've got to make sure that when it's fixed, you use a non-abrasive toothpaste because you don't feel anything. You could actually make them scratch and stain more. There's pros and cons. They're different. Now, a snap-in, it's easier to be thoroughly hygienic with them because you pop it out. You have easy access. As Ashley said, you could put the denture in a sonic cleaner with a cleaning agent. I recommend liquid crystal, but whatever. But you could use that. The good thing about liquid crystal is it doesn't affect O-rings. Your O-rings last longer if you use that. If you use anything that fizzes, it wears quicker. But they wear anyway.
All right, let me interrupt you for a minute. He's talking about his product line. And there's a link in the description of this video. It will take you to the products that we're talking about here. His liquid crystal, his ultrasonic cleaner.
You guys gotta get it.
And then you can brush the implants with a extra soft toothbrush, and you shouldn't use a fluoridated toothpaste because fluoride has been proven to cause tarnish of metal. Implants, I mean, it's a low degree. I'm sure lots of people do it and have no problem. But the only one that the ADA recommends is Clean-A-Dent paste and the brush. And then the wipes are very convenient to polish the posts or the abutments that stick out. But again, it takes a lot of steps to clean the overdenture, the snap-in, and to clean the implants. But it takes a lot of work to take care of natural teeth too.
Yeah.
There's no you can't neglect anything. It all takes time.
You'll pay for it literally.
But as Ashley said, ultimately it's going to be a matter of personal preference. It's going to be a matter of finances. But everybody and I don't want to discourage you, Ashley, and I don't want to applaud you, Jan, but I do. I'm doing everybody. But they have done all kinds of polls, and they assume that people who have had a snap-in and have a all-on-4 or oral-on whatever, something that doesn't come out, and they assume that people overwhelmingly would prefer the fixed. And it's not so. It's closer to 50-50. And it's really all about the hygiene issue. That's,
Yeah.
If it wasn't a hygiene issue, everybody, if they could afford it, would prefer the permanent, the fixed, we call it. But
Well, also with the
hygiene
fixed,
really, a lot of people just cannot take care of the permanent implant bridges.
Now, these are the Clean-A-Dent wipes he's talking about. I like these because I have them in my purse, and if I'm out eating or something and I just want to wipe my teeth, I do that, and they help it remove adhesive. So you can use them either way.
And they're good to clean off those little posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to get some of those. And
they're ADA accepted too. The only wipes that have the ADA acceptance for
I didn't send you the wipes.
I thought I did. Well, we will.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep a little bag of stuff that I take everywhere. And if I have an issue or something, I have the Clean-A-Dent paste and the toothbrush in the bag. So I'll go to the bathroom wherever I'm at, pop them out. I don't care. I'll clean them in wherever I am, pop them back in, go about my business.
I saw Michael. Sorry, I just didn't want to forget. I saw that Michael about the injection. He said it's not swollen. And he said that the dentist injected deeply into the nerve. It may take longer. It could take even 6 months at the most if it was injected in the nerve for the feeling to come back. But I am sure, well, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure the feeling will come back eventually. But I would check with the dentist and just let him know that there's been a complication and see what he thinks or she thinks.
Or we have another question. Michelle, I want to ask if it's normal for the surgeon to leave parts of teeth during extraction. Should I worry? You're the surgeon.
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I would. That's not typically a good situation. There may be a reason why the surgeon left the root tips there, but it's not typical.
Hey, I have a question, Dr. B.
Okay.
When you get implants on your E-Day, is it less common for you to develop a bone spur down the road than somebody who gets traditional dentures?
Well, the more surgery at a time, the more likely you are to have a bone spur. I would assume.
Okay. Just wondering.
Jan, we have a question. Can you chew easier in your snap-in dentures than your immediate dentures?
Oh, heck yeah.
I would hope so.
Heck yeah. Yeah, because they're on there.
That would be 13,600 down the drain.
Yeah, I know. I'm tenacious. I'd be going back and back and back. But yeah.
And someone said, what do you think of a dentist filling the same 2-3 times within 1 month? Oh.
Find another one.
That's about right.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
crazy.
Melody says, I currently have
And then someone else.
What's that?
Yeah, you're doing it. That's the one I was reading.
Okay. I currently have implants, 2 on bottom and 4 on top. Is it possible to go to all on 4 from a snap-in?
Well, that would depend on the implants and the bone and et cetera, et cetera. But
and the placement.
She said she has 4 on top and 2 on the bottom. It's possible on the top, but on the bottom, she has to have at least 2 more.
Yeah. And if there are many implants, then you couldn't take it any further.
She may need 6 or 8. Yeah.
That's what I think she was asking. Can I get 4 on the bottom. Can they add 2 more is what I understood.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
As long as you have the bone to put them there, I would think so.
Yeah.
It'd be a tight fit though, wouldn't it? I mean, well, I don't know. It depends. I'm happy with my 2, so I don't know.
No.
Oh, I see Mr. Silverman in the chat. You see Josh Silverman in there?
Yeah. The
That,
gum guard guy.
that's not his gum guard account though. So I don't. Josh, is that you?
I've been hearing great things about the gum guard. It really filled a gap. Yeah, that was another example of something that a dentist, it's hard to relate for most dentists because they're not missing teeth.
Yeah.
And necessity is the mother of invention. And, I came up with my products by listening to my patients. Josh, I know the story. He was a patient. He lost all his teeth and he was having severe jaw problems. And there was no simple solution. So he came up with it.
Yeah, I love that idea too.
Yeah.
Josh,
there's still literally no. Oh, I'm sorry. There's still literally no other ones out there like
no,
him.
that's what I mean.
The only one. Yeah.
Totally, Richard. Yes.
Michael said, if I glue my top denture, will that help with the gagging to stop? Yes, you need. It needs to fit really well for the gagging to stop.
Well, there's several. That's true. I mean, I agree with you completely. A loose denture is definitely going to cause more gagging.
Yeah.
But there may be other things involved. The back of the denture could go too far back and impinge on the soft palate, and that'll make increase the gagging. You want that denture typically to end at the junction. If you feel your palate, it's hard, and then further back suddenly gets soft. And you want it to typically end at that junction and just slightly impinge on that soft palate, and that creates a seal. But it's all personal. It may be too much. So adhesive will probably help. But I would say if this is a new denture, and this is a new problem, obviously, because it's a new denture, I would go back and see the dentist and see if sometimes just a 5-minute, well, nothing's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But, a simple adjustment outside the mouth, of course, can really help.
Yeah.
It seems like with that problem that people can get, just the back where you were talking about. The slightest change and it'll make all the difference. Just to trim it.
That's all. It doesn't take much.
Yeah.
In your mouth, it's really sensitive. You can. Well, I don't have to tell any of you, but there's a lot of nerves in your mouth, and then to be holding on false teeth, it's difficult. There's a lot of challenges, as you all know.
Oh yeah. He said he did shave the back. Did you glue them in yet? Have you tried adhesive yet on them, Michael? I don't know. All right. My mom has a question for you.
Okay.
My mom loves Dr. B and his products. She's just so excited when he sent her some stuff and she was just really excited. Okay. My mom has the implants and then the bar. She got them right when implants first started. And then her teeth sit on the bar. In fact, this is the first year she showed me. She said she never would show me because she said, once you see this, you can't unsee it.
It's pretty different.
Yeah. She wanted to know if that is still done that way.
Yes, and it's fantastic. The bar, if you wanted to, you may consider doing that. Because the denture has like a sleeve that fits on the bar, and it's not just hooking on one implant. The bar really stabilizes it from lateral movement. It's a good thing. It's not done as often as it used to, because implants have really improved. And a lot of times it's easier to just place 2 more implants than to have the bar. And the result is better. But, for 2 implants in a bar, it's a good thing. But
seems like the bar,
so many people get by without it. And they used to do a lot more of them.
Seems like the bar would even out the load too.
Right,
you know what
it
I
evens
mean?
out the load.
It'll take more. Yeah.
Well, kind of like on an all-on 4, they're all connected in the teeth.
True. That's true.
Okay, Michael said, Michelle, why do you want to get implants? Are you having issues with your bottom denture? No, not yet. I'm not having any issues at all. These fit great. I'm talking down the road. I know that I'm going to lose bone, and I know my ridge is going to start shrinking. That's when I know I'm going to have a problem with it, and I want to do this before I have the problem. But I'm going to talk to my dentist and see how my bone is now and how long I can wait, because you're supposed to go in yearly for a gum check
and an oral cancer check.
Yes. So when I do that, I'll talk to him then about doing this. Someone asked you, or no, I have a question here. Do you still have to take your snap-in dentures out at night? Can you leave them in at night? What do you do with them?
Well, I'll leave that to Jan, and then I may add something.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I'll leave this to Ash, too, because you really have removable dentures now, too, that kind of snap on.
I've heard of people leaving them in, but that is a disaster, because all it does is build up bacteria in your mouth and your gums and around your post. And you really do not want to do that. To me, it's like letting my mouth rest and just letting them woosah. So I would never personally ever recommend leaving them in. Now, there's a caveat to that. When I first got my dentures, I had to have them in, because my mouth was getting used to them and changing.
The best way to get used to them. Don't take them out.
I did that. I'll admit that much.
Yeah. Well, I did do that, but I mean, come morning time, I couldn't get those things out fast enough and clean them and get the new liner in there.
I think that's the main takeaway. Like if you're somebody who has to sleep in your dentures for a medical reason or whatever the reason is, your cleaning routine has to be like on point, pristine. Make sure you clean if you're going to sleep in them and wear them 24/7. That's what I have to say.
You go to bed, clean them when you wake up. If you get up early in the morning and you have problems sleeping, clean them then, clean them again.
I use the gum guards at night. That's what I wear, and especially with having those implants, they're capped off. Well, I have abutments on the top and capped off on the bottom. The implants help to anchor that gum guard, so it's not moving around as much. Nice. So that's what I use at night. So
that's awesome.
Well, I think you guys answered that question beautifully. There's no rules in this world, and I know people who had snap-ins who never slept in them. And I know people who always slept in them, said they couldn't breathe if they didn't sleep with them, said they had headaches if they didn't sleep with them, said that they cut up their gums if they didn't sleep with them, and other people didn't sleep with them. But as Ashley said, if you're going to sleep with them, make sure you take them out at least sometime during the day. Make sure you clean them thoroughly. And, again, I recommend Sonic Cleaner Liquid Crystal, but you got to clean them. Make sure you brush the abutments, clean them with a non-fluoridated toothpaste. It's very, very important, but there is no rule.
What I've learned so far with working with Dr. B, I just love Dr. B. He's been so helpful answering questions and just being there. All I have to do is shoot him an email and he just responds with just helping me. And he cares. He really cares. Just like Josh. Josh stayed up many, many nights, and he still does, thinking and making these. and Denture Box. All of you guys just do this from your heart.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you do. And I think that's just fantastic. Dr. B, let's talk about your smile guide on denturewares.com.
Sure.
Okay, Dr. B has made how many designs have you made?
Well, there's 18 basic designs with the same length. There's 18 designs of teeth, and then there's basically 3 length combinations.
Right.
So if you multiply that, that's 3 times 18. I'm not so good with math, but I think that's like 54.
Right. Now,
but anyway, it's not that complicated. Though nowadays with digital imaging, you can actually, and now they even have 3D imaging. You can place all of those into an image of your face and your smile and try them on. But you don't need 54. But basically, it's you have 3 types of eye teeth, 3 types of lateral incisors, the side teeth, and 3 types of central incisors, and you multiply that. That's 27. I'm being real quick, and 9 of them don't look right because the side tooth is more square than the front tooth. Eliminate that, and that gives you 18. And then there's the different length. Without having the picture, it's kind of hard to go over it. But Michelle and I did a video on it. And if anybody's interested, I'd suggest you just go back and look at that.
It's cool.
I'll show them on my phone, but on denturewares.com.
It's on denturewares.com. I forgot.
Dr. B's website is denturewares.com, and it's getting upgraded right now. So
it's not the website for my products, but it is something that I actually started this website in 2004. It's just I've been distracted.
Well, let me show them what it is, and then I'm going to ask you a question. If you go on denturewares.com and just start scrolling down, you'll come to his video there, and then you'll see those, and then you'll see my video there. So in between the 2 videos, you can click on these pictures. And what he has done is he has put different teeth in a denture. So
actually, we did it with porcelain veneers at the time. But I was inspired by dentures.
Well, you can go look at these and see what kind. If you're wanting to know how to pick out your shape of smile, your teeth, and everything, he has designed this. You can go on this denturewares.com. You can screenshot these pictures and click on them. And if you go sideways, there's. It just scrolls sideways, and he's got several different designs that you can go screenshot a picture, look at the picture, take it to your dentist and say, I want teeth like this. Because what you've done is you've put pointed with rounded, and you want to explain some of that, how you came about doing this?
Well, it was from, I had a lot of, when you're doing porcelain veneers, it's not easy at all. It's difficult to redo them. I know you're having a lot of difficulty, Ashley, but at least it doesn't hurt and the damage is done. But if you cement porcelain veneers and the patient doesn't like it, well, you've got a problem there. A lot of problems. And it's not so easy to redo them. And I was right there at the beginning of the cosmetic dental revolution, so to speak, at the beginning of the 80s. And I was there, a pioneer with porcelain veneers. And so I was doing a lot of them. And I thought that I was doing everything great. I thought I was creating a perfect, ideal smile. And for a lot of people, it was a perfectly ideal smile. But for a lot of people, it wasn't. And I didn't know what it was. The color was right. The gums were healthy. the length was basically right. I mean, what was wrong? And I had a lot of post-cementation depression after they were in, because I could tell they weren't as thrilled as I was. And I started talking to my patients every day and learning and changing things and realizing different length combinations, make the difference. They give the smile personality. Different edges, are they round? Are they square? Are they a combination? Are the eye teeth pointy? Are they round? Are they flat? So I started planning all this with denture teeth, and then I actually did the case. They were all porcelain veneers because people with porcelain veneers really need this. Denture wearers really need this. Everybody who's doing a smile design really needs this. So we placed them all, and we couldn't do this without digital photography. I was like, I was thinking about this, planning it, and then suddenly digital cameras came out, like in 2000, 2001, and suddenly I could actually do this. And I made 18 sets of veneers and 3 sets at different lengths, and we placed them all. She was my dental hygienist, and we placed them all, photographed them all, put them all on the screen, and then had her pick. And then we cemented it. But we used all those pictures, and it was very hard. Taking putting them back in, putting the lipstick on. I should have done it with a dental patient, but I whatever. But it worked, and it really applies to denture wearers, and anybody who's doing a smile makeover.
Well, I know, I'm going through the process again with Denture Box now, just so we could film it from start to finish. And I used your smile guide to pick out a different design of teeth. My teeth are gonna be different than this.
They look great the way they are.
Well, I'm going a little more rectangular,
personal preference.
Yeah, but
maybe that's the way your teeth really were.
Well, and I was able to use your smile guide and send pictures to Jen so she could see exactly what I was talking about.
Well, that's awesome. Exactly what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A picture's worth 1,000 words.
So and we did a video on that, a couple videos back, Dr. B and I did, on that and his product line. And I just think the smile guide is awesome. And I didn't know this existed when I first got my dentures. I was so happy. I'm like, this is cool. It takes the guesswork out for everybody.
Yeah. And your dentist or your denturist, they'll be happy to have these pictures because they want to make you happy. And, you can't read anybody's mind. And not only can't you read a mind, but without the pictures, you may not really know what you like.
Yeah. It's like getting your hair cut. If you could just see it before it gets cut with your face on it,
Well, you can do that. It's just not. We used to have digital imaging in my practice. That's why I developed the Smile Guide. There was a digital version of it, but now the digital versions are way more sophisticated. As I said, you could do it much faster. You could do even 3-dimensional.
That's fantastic.
But not every dentist or denturist is doing that, but they can all look at the pictures.
Yeah. It makes it really.
And then you could verify it at the wax try-in.
Yeah. I love that.
It makes it very helpful. But I think I have the link for denture wearers down there.
It's easy, denturewearers.com.
Yeah, it's denturewearers.com.
Yeah.
And it's being renovated right now. So it's partially up and partially not. So
but the Choose Your Smile is up.
Yeah, it's called the Lorin Library. And that is your smile guide.
That's
so
awesome.
does anybody else have any other questions?
Michelle, my volume went out. I don't know what's going on, so I can't really hear.
I can see you.
Okay,
we can hear
I just can't hear y'all very good. I just want to let
we
you
can
know.
hear you also.
Okay. I can hear you. It's just a little bit.
All right. I think we're going to end it for tonight. And I'll have the link to Dr. B's, all his information in the description, along with Ashley has a channel, and so does Jan. Jan has a channel also, Simply Jan Homestead. So, and it's really nice. She has chickens and everything. In fact, I was able to text her the other night. We had a chicken problem what's that?
I was going to ask at the beginning before we went online how the chickens were.
They're great. Our new chickens are doing fantastic, and they're in with the current flock. And so next thing are my livestock. I've waited, gosh, over a year to get them, so I'm really stoked about that. But they probably won't be born till March, but I can't tell you what it is. So
Okay.
Ooh, that's fun. So
you
you guys
have
can
to watch my channel, man.
Well, if you have any questions, you can go on Jan's channel. Her email's in her description or in her about section, and I'm sure she can help you the same as Ashley. You can ask them.
It's in most of my descriptions. People say they can't find it on the about page. I don't know why I see it there, but it's in all my videos. So.
In her video descriptions. All right, everybody. Thank you guys all for joining us.
This has been great. It was nice to meet you, Dr. B.
Nice to meet all of you.
Yes. Be in there too. And I'm going to put the gum guard down there too.
Okay.
All right.
That was a wealth of information. I'm so organized.
No, really, I'm not. Look at this. All my boxes are open and dumped. So Josh and I need to have a video call so he can help me organize my stuff. All right, I'll see everybody next time.
Okay,
bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Michelle. Bye, Dr. B.
Thank you.